deep dive tonight. For years, Americans who said the weed killer Roundup caused their cancer fought Bayer-Monsanto in court, and the company paid out billions. Well, in 2026, the battle moved out of the courtroom and into the halls of power.
And now senior investigator Lisa Fletcher follows the money, the politics, and the fight over whether future victims will still have their day in court.
When Terry McCall's husband died of non-Hodgkin lymphoma, she never suspected the weed killer he'd used on their farm.
There was all these studies about the connection between Roundup and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I thought, my God, he's been using this for 40 years.
After her husband died, McCall did what Americans have long been able to do. She sued and won. But the next family may not get that chance. Attorney Brent Wisner won the first landmark case against Roundup's maker, Monsanto. He says after years of losing before juries, the industry stopped fighting cases and started fighting the rules.
They're doing everything in their power to avoid having to pay the money they have to do, and then we're just going to bar the courthouse doors, whether by statute or by Supreme Court ruling.
Turns out they tried both. First in Congress, with language in the Farm Bill that would have essentially shielded chemical companies from legal liability so long as the EPA approved its label. Florida Congresswoman Paulina Luna fought against it.
As far as I'm concerned, if someone's trying to give something to my kid that causes cancer, I would hope to heck that Congress would block that.
Luna says she was up against more than a powerful industry, powerful colleagues defending it.
Why do you think that's happening?
That 100% is because of the glyphosate and the pesticide and liability lobby that happens in Congress. Everyone that was vocally attacking me on this issue, I pulled up their donation history on the FEC, and they were getting paid by these companies.
I take zero money from pesticide liability and manufacturers, and my colleague takes $124,000 from them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield my time.
She's talking about Georgia's Austin Scott, the vice chair of the committee responsible for writing the Farm Bill. We asked Scott to respond to Luna's implication and got no answer, as we examined the campaign finance records of all who opposed Luna's amendment, including the chairman of the House Agriculture Committee, Glenn G.T. Thompson.
I find it sad that we enter into cheap shots regarding organizations that, when they see something that you're working hard on behalf of the American farmer and they want to make a legal, ethical donation, that they can do that.
Thompson, the single most influential House member on farm policy, took more than $300,000 in campaign contributions from the chemical industry since taking office. He told us that all contributions have been vetted, adding G.T. Thompson is not for sale. Ultimately, Luna won her fight. But weeks later, the Supreme Court handed the victory to chemical companies that eluded them in Congress, ruling that Roundup's maker could not be sued for failing to warn about cancer risks because the EPA approved its label without the warning.
What was your reaction when you saw the ruling?
It was a complete slap in the face.
Now, Luna has introduced a bipartisan bill that would restore Americans' ability to sue pesticide companies under state law. But she isn't optimistic.
I think that if it's up to current leadership, I don't think that they're going to put it on the floor.
For Terry McCall, that's hard to accept.
Why would anybody be for taking Americans' right away to get justice for being harmed by companies' products when they've told them that they're safe? Who would be for that?
Bayer-Monsanto says its product does not cause cancer. The company and supporters of the ruling have said it will prevent costly lawsuits and ensure farmers have access to important agricultural tools.
Well, Lisa, if this centers on the EPA making final decisions, why is that such a problem?
Well, recently released documents show that the EPA administrator recently met with Roundup's maker on litigation issues and then thanked him for updates, which is calling into question how impartial the agency really is.
Okay. Then what is the status right now of the shielding language when it comes to the Farm Bill?
Okay, so it's out of the House version. That was Luna's fight. As for the Senate, it is stalled, and the prospects of getting a Farm Bill passed before the end of the year are very, very remote, according to our sources.
Yeah, contentious on the Hill, to say the very least, but we'll see what happens. All right, Lisa, thanks for staying on top of it.